wanted everybody in the world to see what the police do and how they roll, and it's not right. It's not acceptable. He killed my boyfriend.
A video unlike anything America has seen before. A Minnesota woman broadcasts the police shooting of her boyfriend, Philando Castile, live on Facebook.
I told him to get his hand out.
The shooting comes just one day after Alton Sterling was shot and killed in Louisiana.
If you don't care, there's something wrong with you.
And President Obama joins millions of people across the country in demanding answers.
I just ask folks to step back and think, what if this happened to somebody in your family? How would you feel?
Black Lives Matter!
Tonight, here in D.C. and across the country, protests emerge in the streets.
Don't shoot!
Peaceful, but powerful.
And we're monitoring breaking news out of Dallas. Shots fired at a protest against the police shootings tonight. You are looking live at the scene. It may be a bit chaotic. There are reports that 2 officers have been shot. That has not yet been confirmed, but you can see it's a very active scene out there. A lot of emergency vehicles we can see outside of this shot. The sound of those shots could be heard shortly before 9 o'clock. Here's a listen.
That's 5 gunshots.
Witnesses report hearing 6 to 8 shots. Again, we don't have confirmation yet that police officers were hurt, but this is considered an active shooter scene. Our newsroom is monitoring all the developments out of Dallas. We will bring them to you as they happen. And thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Leslie Foster. Tonight, President Obama says the fatal police shootings of 2 black men in 2 days are not isolated incidents. The strong statement comes as thousands of people across the nation come together to demand change after the most recent incident. In Falcon Heights, Minnesota, that's where a police officer shot Philando Castile during a traffic stop Wednesday evening.
The officer just shot him in his arm.
His girlfriend calmly live streamed the immediate aftermath as the officer kept his gun drawn. We have live team coverage as the passionate but peaceful reaction continues. WUSA 9's Garrett Hake has a strong message from the president tonight. Ellison Barber talks to local families about the difficult conversations they're having with children about police brutality. But we begin with Mola Lengi, who's been with protesters marching on the White House tonight. Mola.
Well, Leslie, that protest and march began on the White House tonight. It ended here on the U.S. Capitol. Hundreds and hundreds of people came out, as you see right now. Just some protesters left lingering around. For all intents and purposes, the protest and march is over, but hundreds came out strong in light of those 2 recent shootings. You know, they may have happened in Baton Rouge and Minnesota, respectively, but they were certainly felt here in the district tonight.
It was the same protest.
Hands up, don't shoot.
The same fight. The same demands.
These racist cops have got to go.
Much of the same, these protesters say, because not much has changed.
Black people attacked and killed and murdered by these police pigs.
It seems as if it's increasing exponentially.
I can't say that I've seen enough progress or even progress at all, unfortunately. You know, one time it happens and then the news cycle completes and then we stop talking about it.
Hundreds and hundreds of black, brown, and white protesters marching from the White House to the U.S. Capitol.
I'm here as a white man that doesn't have to worry about this. I'm here as a white man that can walk back to his hotel tonight and not worry that somebody's going to stop me and not worry that somebody's going to pull me over just because I'm walking.
The police are getting away literally with murder, and no one's holding them accountable. No one's holding Congress accountable. No one is holding our elected officials accountable.
This is about everybody. Understand that. Understand that. This is about every person's life out here.
The other side would say, what about black on black crime? The other side would say, you know, if you're not committing crimes or putting yourself in situations, then police won't be responding to these sort of...
Well, I think everybody knows that that's a load of crap. First of all, there is no such thing as black on black crime. People commit crimes against people in their communities.
We live in a racist society.
Shootings that have led to protests. Protests that have led to marches. Marches that these folks hope will lead to change.
It was a passionate protest and march out here tonight, but it was a peaceful one as well. No confrontations with police, certainly no serious ones that we saw. And we should note that police always seem to be one step or one block ahead of the protesters, shutting down streets so that they could march through peacefully, shutting down those streets to vehicle traffic so the protesters could march from the White House to the U.S. Capitol here tonight. Again, no violence, no injuries. Live at the U.S. Capitol, I'm Mola Lange for WSA 9.
This has really touched a nerve, Mola. Thank you. Meanwhile, tonight, reaction to the killings continued to pour in from around the country. Even President Obama weighed in after touching down in Poland for a NATO summit. WUSA 9's Garrett Hake has been covering this story for us all day. Garrett?
Leslie, tonight in many parts of the country, the shock over the death of these two men at the hands of police has turned to anger that has boiled over onto the streets. Demonstrators marching on major American cities tonight, filling Philadelphia's downtown streets.
No justice, no peace.
Chanting undeterred by rain in Chicago and determined to make a difference in Dallas.
But at the end of the day, we as the people have to be fed up and say enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Landing in Poland tonight for a NATO summit, President Obama said the criminal justice system has biases that must be rooted out, hoping perhaps to give direction to the anger on American streets.
This is not just a black issue. It's not just a Hispanic issue. This is an American issue that we should all care about.
That sentiment echoing tonight in Baton Rouge, where Louisiana's governor led a prayer service for Alton Sterling.
Everybody needs to come together. We need to unify, no matter what color you are.
The Justice Department has agreed to investigate Sterling's killing at the hands of two police officers Tuesday.
He killed my boyfriend.
But the DOJ plans only to monitor Minnesota's state-level investigation of the week's second high-profile shooting, the killing of Philando Castile. The aftermath streamed on Facebook Live. In a news conference this evening, the state's governor asking and answering the most painful question about that incident.
Would this have happened if those passengers, the driver and the passengers were white? I don't think it would have.
Tonight, President Obama argued the next question should be, what can we all do to fix this?
To be concerned about these issues is not political correctness. It's just being American and wanting to live up to our best and highest ideals.
The president also said he hopes this moment doesn't reduce down to the Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter debate we have seen over the next few years. His core message tonight, we as a country can do better. Reporting live, Garrett Hake, WUSA 9.
Yeah, we all need to care about it. That was his message. Garrett, thank you. For many families in D.C., this is not just a topic to tweet about on social media. Parents across our area are trying to figure out how to explain all of this to their children. WUSA 9's Ellison Barber has more on how experts say you should approach this conversation. Elle?
That's right, Leslie. These issues hit home for a lot of families, and many people we spoke to in this area say police brutality is now a regular conversation at their dinner tables. Are you scared of the police?
Oh, sometimes not. But I know to stay in line and always say yes sir, no sir. That's just how it is.
We're trying to put forth a rational solution to an irrational problem.
Dr. Linda McGee says parents have to talk with their kids about police brutality because they're already hearing about it.
And the officer just shot him in his arm.
The large majority of police officers are law-abiding and good and helpful to the citizenry, including black youth. But then you also have a small minority who abuse those privileges and the authority that they have. You need to give your child tools about how to handle police and how to de-escalate situations.
Kevin Bussey has one child.
He's 12.
Ginger Whitten has two children.
8 and 9.
Both are talking to their kids.
What we do with our kids is talk about racial justice and how we're not quite there yet.
I kind of grew up that way, so it wasn't like I really kind of like had to be told. I mean, I was just raised where you just respect the law and stay out their way.
We haven't talked about it specifically, about the brutality that happens.
Never at one moment did I think that it would really be any different.
It's very tough to talk about that people are targeted because of their race by the people who are supposed to protect us.
They need to know, they need to have an idea of
how to stay clear from it, you know, and how to address it. You know, you just have to have you can't go into it blindly. You know, your kids have to know.
We all have to work for the society we want to live in, and I don't think any of us are really free until all of us are treated equally.
Dr. McGee says the bottom line is everyone should talk to their kids about these things. She says listen to them. If they have questions, answer them and be direct. Reporting live in Shaw, I'm Ellison Barber, WUSA 9.
A lot of tough conversations happening right now. Thank you. A local leader of the Black Lives Matter movement led a march through the city's southeast section this evening.
No justice, no peace.
More than 150 protesters called for justice and awareness of what they call unjust treatment from D.C. police. They were escorted by police as they marched down Alabama Avenue. You can see they closed off part of the street. That march started at the Congress Heights Metro Station and moved toward the city's 7th District Police Station.
A lot of people who have experienced the trauma of the last couple days feel they need to do is to confront the very institution that brings on violence onto our communities and then labels us the criminals.
There were a few tense moments tonight, but the protest was peaceful. A Northeast church held a town hall meeting tonight to look for solutions following these two police shootings. More than 50 people gathered at Plymouth Congregational Church off North Capitol Street. Organizers said it was important to talk about how to move forward as a community.
We need to look at this and say, as a community, we need to step forward to do more than just grieve.
It's also important to come together as a collective, as a part of the community, and begin to create the kind of organizing strategy that we need to engage in from this point on.
Some people in the audience also said it was important to look at how situations in the past involving police have shaped the present. As you know, this is a story that has been trending all day long, and it still is. Amid all of these controversial police shootings, we've got some other information to get to. First, though, these are some of the things that you're saying from the Shade Room. A female officer shares her anger after the recent murders of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. We hear from All Things Stood. Police somehow manage to de-escalate, disarm, and not kill white people every day. Another person says no more RIPs. It is time we fixed these scared, deadly cops. And also, there's one more, I believe, that may be coming up. And it says, at Salon, Sterling was a convicted felon and shouldn't have had a gun. Doesn't mean he deserved to die, but he wasn't an angel with no faults. We'd like to hear what you have to say. Share your thoughts with us on WUSA 9. He's a high-ranking Navy official who could be in trouble for waving his gun on camera. New information on the case just ahead. Remember that Donald Trump tweet with Hillary Clinton and the six-pointed star? Tonight, Jewish groups fire back with a message for the Donald. And we'll go back live to Dallas for the latest developments. Reports of 2 police officers shot at a protest there tonight. Stay with us.